Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I saw this thing with K Michelle and the whole Cam Newton thing, and honestly, I don't see what K Michelle was talking about. Cause how you gonna sit there and talk about black men, but yet you're sitting up here talking about quote unquote how much white men are better. I'm like this here. If you think white men are better, go over to the white man and stay over there. With that being said, I got something here uh, from River TV on YouTube. Shout out to her. With that being said, let's get into it. Tap the screen, 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 tap the screen.
Conversation, mainly because I don't know about anybody else, but me personally, I saw a lot of contradictions happening within the conversation that I wanted to mention. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and press play, pause, play, give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation. And again, of course, if you do not know who K Michelle is, she is an R&B singer, a country singer, as well as a reality TV personality. She was on the beginning seasons of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And so I'm not sure exactly what she was there
Bucket
to promote
TV
at this time, or if she was just there to have a conversation. But I'm going to go ahead and press play, and we'll get into the whole conversation.
Women are so mad and so bothered that when I told them that I was doing your show, they was like, light it up. Tell him the truth.
So this, she's basically saying that basically the sisterhood sent her there with a mission. And the mission was to, humble him, check him, put him in his...
And here's the problem that a lot of black women need to understand. The sisterhood don't mean you know looking good whatsoever. Just saying.
Please tell him his wrongdoings. And that is coming off of the tale of what happened when Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was there, and the two of them had a conversation in regards to his family structure, his family
tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
She, checked him.
Search for Taylor Brands to get that
LLC.
LLC.
My bad, y'all.
Then just go to their site, enter your LLC state.
Checked him.
You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women. You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selective.
Shut up,
So
Cheyenne.
now, based off of that one particular situation, every woman that goes on there and is a black woman especially, they want those women to go up there and do the same exact thing that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant did. And if, the women do not do that, they are going to face, some kind of backlash from the sisterhood, from, black women on social media, for not stepping up to the plate and handling business like they instructed them to do.
People like your significant other. They liked her before y'all had become a couple. And some things that she had said, might have offended women in other ways. And now they're like, oh, so now you're in this situation that you made fun about.
So, Cam Newton is in a relationship with comedian Jazzy. I think her name is Jasmine Brown. And, before the two of them got into any kind of relationship, she was on social media basically calling women that, acted a certain way pick-me's. She talked about, all kinds of different, attributes of women and how they would be, beneath men, and that could never be her.
So this was the woman who became his third baby mother. And this was the way she was talking about quote-unquote pick-me before she got with Cam Newton.
These are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me.
Yeah, cut it out. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want.
But if you're so nurturing and you're an asset and it's not you, they'll never tell you to stop doing what you're doing because it's beneficial.
So basically, now that she is in this relationship with Cam Newton, and a lot of their personal businesses out there, a lot of the conversation is surrounding her, in a certain light because of the things that he tells on the podcast. Now what she's saying is that a lot of women do not have any kind of compassion, empathy, or sympathy for her because they're like, how come all of a sudden you now have this epiphany and you get it, but when other women were being nurturing and doing the best that they could, you called them derogatory names.
Yeah, you just put them out. Oh, hallelujah. It will make you see things differently, do things differently, and just love in general.
So I thought this was interesting that she talked about being demonetized, and because she's basically saying that's why obviously Jackie changed her tune because she was in a certain type of relationship or whatever the case is, and so now she's singing a whole different tune, and I think that just speaks volumes for a lot of different things. I say this all the time, especially here when I have conversations with you guys, that so often women talk about, I would never make no man a sandwich. I would never. And some of the women who are the loudest at saying derogatory things about men, when they get into that right situation,
be the biggest damn pick-me's.
The blindfold comes off of their eyes, and they are doing the most.
Exactly.
Okay, the same way that they call other women pick-me, they become the number one, pick-me on the front line, hoping that this man will choose them.
Exactly.
When you're the person everybody pulls from, there's choices.
That's why there's this thing and there's this balance. I'm the one in my family that takes care of everybody, all the family. When you come home, you want to be, like you said, your charging station.
Here's something that I wanted to also mention for everyone in particular, but especially the women, is that sometimes you can be in a situation with a man and you are not that charging station. Now, charging station can be so many different ways. Some men get renewed by, having intimacy with a woman, unloading that pressure, unloading that stress, and walking away. Sometimes it's from having that compassion from their partner, their wife, their girlfriend, whatever, in that relationship. There's so many different avenues that men release, stress or find that comfort or charge within their relationship. And it's important to know the difference, right? It's important to know that sometimes your body could be used in a way to release stress, but he doesn't actually have any kind of emotional connection with you or love with you. And so when K. Michelle is trying to put herself in that same position, I don't believe it's the same because, as a woman, you want a man to pour into you, life into you, and admire you, and love on you, hug you up, kiss you up. And sometimes for men, it's not that same thing. Okay? Sometimes it is just going out there frivolously and finding
screen, tap screen.
Take your mind, the pressure off
Tap screen.
intimate connections, but not emotional connections. So there's a vast difference.
I think it's happening with women right now. Can we be honest about what women are dealing with? Women are making more money than men.
That's challenging.
Yes. If you're going to bring me hell, and I can pay my own bills, it's not worth it.
Now, this part of the conversation is when things started.
About the women making more money than men. There's no proof of that. Now, are women making as much as the men? Some of them, but not all. But there's no proof that women make more money than men.
To pick up, right? And she talks about what women are going through. And the reason why I definitely wanted to emphasize that is because what are women, if women are making more money now, they have the ability to do more things. They
I'll be right
have more
back,
freedom
y'all.
than they've ever had. Why would they?
Okay, we're back.
Your leisure. You should be.
Tap screen, tap
You're
screen.
choosing to work. That's what you want.
Tap screen, tap
You're
screen.
getting your just due from whatever work it is that you're doing, and so now you're at this comfortable space. You're not, operating out of lack. You're not operating out of misery or stress because you can't, afford to do certain things. But now with more freedom and more ability to choose, I found that it seems that more women have become more miserable in the relationship sector. And, it's so interesting that he said, these men are making less money, and so it's like you're trying to tell me what to do and check me, but you're not paying any bills.
That is so nice.
I think it's right.
So is it that it's the stress of is it the problem that he's telling you something to do, or is it that he's not having more money than you, so you feel that he doesn't have the authority to tell you what to do?
If you're gonna bring me hell and I can pay my own bills, it's not worth it.
Now this is something that I definitely don't agree with, right? Because it's saying that it's just the same narrative of, I'd rather be crying in the back of a Rolls Royce than, be crying with this man. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
In general, why are you crying?
Yeah, why are you crying?
This narrative leads to the fact
So
that
dumb.
you're prioritizing finances, somebody who's able to pay your bills, somebody who's able to provide for you financially, over somebody who's able to effectively communicate, somebody who's emotionally intelligent. Like, that whole narrative of I'd rather be crying in the back of a Rolls Royce, you would rather be in a miserable situation as long as somebody is providing for you and paying your bills.
Talk about
a
River.
situation where the two of you are trying to effectively build something together and grow in that situation and in that dynamic, opposed to you being in that situation where you are trying to pick up the pieces or trying to figure it out. I've never agreed with the idea that finances comes before, a man's principles, a man's standards, a man's structures, his belief system, who you are, and a man's integrity. I don't agree.
I see my parents have been together forever. I get to witness a traditional, old school type of love. But nowadays, what we're witnessing city girls, we're witnessing this and that, and it's like the genders are.
But, okay, Michelle, were you not a part of the city girl culture? Just asking a question.
What is it?
Something I noticed very off-rip is that she talked about what women are going through. Then she said that she witnessed, her parents being together. Now she talks about, the city girls and all of these things. And then she's saying that the genders are clashing. But where she took this conversation next was very interesting to me.
Being in Nashville all the time, being in Atlanta all this time, then going to Nashville where it's predominantly white. One, they go home at 6 o'clock when they're producing because they go home to their families. Being a country singer, if you are a singer in country music, you're a man.
You see, this is the divestor mindset. And excuse me. This is how I feel about divestors. If you're going to divest and shut the fuck up.
Marriage is not respected.
Let me give you my point of view on this. First of all, country music is basically very closely based off of Christian values, Christian standards, Christianity as a whole. Like, it's
Thank you,
like
River.
You can't wear certain things.
About time somebody said that.
You can't say everything that it is that you want to say. Like, they will easily banish you outside the circle, right? And so, being that they have a strong foundation in that way, and they have all similar beliefs, of course you are going to get, family at the center because they are going off of biblical values.
Facts.
You are comparing that to a hip hop world where it's a it's not a one size fits all. It's a you have these belief system, this belief system, that.
Talk about it.
It's definitely not centered around, love, family, whatever. But there's so many other genres that you can also speak on. But using the worst of a certain genre to compare to it's almost like comparing. I could see if she compared country music and like gospel music, or country music and like different kind. But you're comparing a genre that is made up of the same city girls that you were just talking about, degrading themselves.
Family is respected in country music in that space, but in our space, we are singing about side chicks. We are glorifying a lot of women. That's not what happens in Nashville. You can't call them.
Now, women. Now, K. Michelle. Hold on. I got to get on you for a second. Didn't you have a song about being a side chick? Did you not have a song about being cheated on and the dude left you for a side chick? As a matter of fact, when you got with Memphis, were you not a side chick then? Again, just asking questions. With that being said, let's get back into it.
I'm a woman. And as being, because they're not even listening to your music and your professional career will suffer. Yeah, but also you're not going to hear those women call themselves that. So as much as you're putting
tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
women are also aiding to that.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
They think it's cool to call each other out. What up, B? What up, A? What up? Like they look at that as terms of endearment for themselves. So to then, try to say that men can't say it when women are calling themselves that. Oh yeah, I'm the B. I'm the baddest B. Like, what are you talking about, really? It's completely different worlds with completely different backgrounds, completely different struggles, completely different history.
Facts, River.
And what's like in the black community? Do our men create? But if you're not socialized, what's on TV? You already got social ads, but what about when the ads on TV? Does it have to be something? Create real homes. Now this
Hold
is
on.
where
I gotta pause it. Black men do want family. But here's the thing. Some of y'all women will abort the child and not tell the dad. And that's one problem. Another problem is y'all will sit there trying to build families with the Pookie and the Ray Rays that don't want y'all. That there's also another problem. Let's continue.
where she started to put on her, Cheyenne Bryan cape. She started to now do what she was instructed to do when she got there, which is, like I said, check him and call out black men for the negative things that they're doing for the community, while in the same tone, simultaneously praising the fact that white men don't do these things. So, and you guys are going to see where I'm coming from in terms of contradiction. And even talking, this is our first time talking, and you said you didn't even make for that to happen. Life happens. I'm not here to judge life. I'm looking at a successful black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on black family. I gotta say something and be honest. And I just feel that you cannot force people into a narrative that they don't
Thank you.
The worst thing you can do is force a man who does not want to be married to marry somebody. Because every time they have a hiccup, a problem, an issue, that resentment is going to build. Okay? It is not Cam Newton's job to be the representative of families, structure, and marriage for the black community. There are so many men who are showing it. But the problem is that the men who are showcasing their wives.
And to be honest, it's getting to the point that not just black men, that men don't see the benefit of marriage, period. Because with marriage, it benefits the women, but it hardly ever benefits the man. So therefore, men do not see a benefit in getting married due to the lack of benefit for them.
The relationship, people they go in one ear and out the other. But why try to force a narrative onto somebody who clearly is not at the space that he wants that?
Facts.
And we have to stop taking all responsibility off of him and also realize that there are women who are sitting around and participating in whatever the situation is.
Talk about
it. Also been a part of creating. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man
is you
She just said that black women
crying?
are making the most money. Black women are in these spaces. Black women are now becoming the city girls. Black women don't want to be told nothing because they can pay their own bills. You know, black women do not want to comply. And now she is telling this man, or telling all black men, that they need to step in the gap for black women and basically bow down to them. And
Why should black men step in the gap for black women when black women said they don't need us? Just a question.
give them what they so much deserve, even though these same black women are not willing to do the work. These same city girls, these same girls that's making so much money, these same girls who don't want to be submissive, these same girls who are unwilling to comply. She's crying and begging them to step up to the plate.
Exactly.
I feel like this would have been such a stronger conversation. Maybe not as viral, but stronger conversation if she said to black women, hey, this your counterpart. You are not, because you're making so much money means that, you know, you're the ruler of the house and you got to dictate what goes and what doesn't go. No. We still have, you know, a certain hierarchy in a home. We still have certain values and morals. Because even if, you know, it's Faith Hill and she's making...
But the thing with women, nowadays, they don't want to accept the fact that the man is supposed to be head of the household.
way more money than Tim McGraw. I don't think that's a possibility. But let's say, for instance, she is. She's not going to be walking around telling him what he got to do and what he can't do, and he got to do this and he better do this. She's not going to do that.
Hell no.
So we need to have
Because
those
of white.
kind of conversations within our own.
And the reason that doesn't go down because white women understand that the man is the head of the house.
Community. It's really not cool. Black men are attacking black women.
No, it ain't. No. Can't stop, K. Michelle. It's not black men attacking black women. It's black women attacking black men. And that's the issue. So don't sit there, come up on Beyonce's internet and want to sit here and lie and tell these lies on black men. Do not be disingenuous, sweetheart. You're being super disingenuous right now.
Pretty babies everywhere. It's not cool. Again, how is it an attack when these women are willing participants? Okay, again, way more impactful conversation with the woman who is in charge. Okay, she is, subletting her womb to these men's children. Way more impactful conversation when you say women control your womb. If you don't see any kind of certain commitment, if you don't see any kind of structure, whatever, you need to control your womb. Do not give this man a child and make yourself vulnerable in a way that he can just pick up, move, choose, refuse if he wants to. Make sure there is some kind of something in place that you know that he is here for the long haul with you. I'm not saying that both parties are not to blame, right? Obviously, he know what he doing, and she know what she doing. They're grown people, but who is in control of who gets to make it to her side and is born in the world? It is the woman. If you're not on birth control, if you're not using any kind of verification,
Tap the screen,
you are also
tap the screen.
You are not a victim.
Talk about it.
You are not a victim. And I've asked a few other successful black men to be, you have to set an example that leads to the cute social media back and forth of black women. Black women are strong. Black women are where you come from, this and that. This conversation always goes to, your mama black. That's
Really?
where you come from. And so you gotta treat
This what
all
we
women in
doing?
a certain way. But how come, again, we don't have the same conversation with black women? A black man is where you come from. That's what you should respect. That's what you should, try to... No, the conversation is always tilted. Always. As if all women are victims, no women are the problem. How many examples have we seen of men trying to portray successful marriages and turn around and the woman takes them for everything, lied,
You know, if we want to use athletes, for example, Deion Sanders and Pilar Sanders was a grand example of that. Grand example. You know, and K. Michelle said that she saw her parents married forever, her grandparents, everybody. You know, she's seen strong family units, but you've also seen the traits of these women. And so I would love for people to see these things to you know, bring to the conversation the traits of those women. Because if you can have one woman who dates a certain type of man, and she gets nothing from him, crumb. You know, terrible situation. He don't want to be with her. He don't want to fool with her. She gets played like like a game. And then you have another woman who deals with that same kind of man. It's different results. Because
depends on the woman.
What you're bringing to the situation.
It depends on the woman.
If you seem like you're gonna play around, you down for anything, you the fool girl, and everything goes, that's what you're gonna get. If you step to the situation.
And here's something else that women need to understand. You as a woman can dictate on how a man's going to treat you. If you want a man to be serious with you, you got to be serious with that man. If you just a good old bust down, if you act like a bust down, and walk like a bust down, and do everything else like a bust down, you're going to get treated as a bust down. Women need to understand you dictate on how a man treats you. Let's get back into it.
As a wife, you're going to treat you like one. And if he doesn't treat you like one, that's the problem. You move on, you keep acting like that, somebody's going to marry you.
Probably isn't any sympathy for you and just life happening. Because there's so many other things around you going on that are not fair to black women. What is going on with the black family?
What's interesting to me is that, you know, she has so much, talking about the black family and you know, the dismantling of the black family. And later on in the conversation, they actually ended up talking about the fact that she doesn't even date black men.
No, I don't even want a man. And I've always dated outside of my race, like me and love me.
Her preference is not dating black men. Her preference is dating white men.
We are consistently...
This what irks me is black women who SHIT on black men and then won't sit there and date white men. The reason women like y'all SHIT on black men is because black men know that you're full of SHIT. And that's why. Yeah, because a black man ain't gonna look your direction. Hence, K. Michelle. Due to the way she talks, due to her behavior, and due to the way she moves. Women need to understand the way that you talk, the way that you behave matters. Let's get back into it.
Creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there. And they see their mama sad tonight.
What about the truth that sometimes the mama is sad because of self-inflicted pain?
Talk about it.
What about the fact that some women have a baby to one up the next woman that he actually is truly in love with or wants to be to?
Oh, let's talk about the women who sit there get pregnant to try to trap the man, but the man still leaves anyway. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about side chicks who will sit there purposely pop holes into a condom or get off birth control so they can lock the man that they want down, knowing that they're a side chick, but they trying to steal the man away from the wife. Let's talk about it.
In a relationship with them, so she does that as like a caveat to try to manipulate the situation and get what she wants out of it.
Talk about it.
The women who drive the man away because of their unhealed traumas or their inability to
talk about it, Rebel.
Respect people around them, and deal with the man effectively in the way that he should be treated. And so now, when he decides that he no longer wants to take it, now she's the victim. Like, there's way more than one scenario. There's not one situation where these
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Parents and raising these kids, and they don't love their kids, and so they run away. There's so many more layers to that conversation. Too many. And
Way more.
is the successful black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day. I get to witness the best of both worlds every day. Again.
And here's something else that irks me. Is that a lot more and more black women want to try to compare us to the white man. Black women need to remember the struggles of the black man versus the struggles of the white man are two totally different struggles. And that's it, and that's all.
See it again. She started off talking about in Nashville how, the white men do it. They prioritize their family and their children. Then she talked about, again, how come black men, create these situations and, white men don't do it. So how come we do it? And then she said it again. At one point,
It's bad enough that we are demonized by people outside of our race, but when it's black women who want to demonize us black men, it's not only sad, it is just super disheartening.
at what point do the successful black men build black families? We ain't gonna ever have a black family if y'all don't do it. We're never gonna have it. It's not gonna happen.
And unfortunately, women like you, K. Michelle, are the reason Passport Bros exists. Passport Bros exists because of women like you.
Again, I think the strongest point missing from this conversation is, do those wives that these successful white country singers go home to, do those wives act in any way similar to the way that you see black women acting, especially on social media?
Hell no.
Do they?
Hell no.
Do those wives get to dictate?
See, that's because white women respect the natural order, which a natural order is God, man, woman, children. White women understand and respect the order. Black women know about the order, but they don't want to respect it. And a part of the reason why they don't want to respect it is because black women's empowerment is brainwashing them to not respect the natural order.
Disrespect, demean, degrade, emasculate their men on a daily basis and get the same treatment as if they did nothing wrong. Do those men feel like they are the leaders of their home?
Talk about
Do
it.
those men have to bow down to their women? Or do their women understand, respect, and know the hierarchy? Like, at what point do you take that black woman? Do you be at home and show your kids what it's like, At what point do you take a grip to it, not make excuses for it or mantras and things like that? It is so unfair to black women who have been the strength and builders of so many things.
If you think that's unfair, imagine how black men feel when, they've been at the forefront of so many things, and then they go home, and while everybody else goes home and feels respected, they go home and they don't feel that way.
Talk about it.
Imagine that. If you think what black women go through is unfair, imagine what black men go through.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Ego.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Imagine that. Imagine, being halfway respected outside and even worse, less respected when you go home. Imagine that.
Effective, healthy blood pressure support takes more than innovation. It takes vision.
Imagine that.
And I know what happens. You can't be with somebody you don't want to be with or whatever. But my grandparents did it. My grandfather, 92, Darryl, he was 92, my best friend. I never seen another type of man. I saw myself.
See, and that's because the women from back in the day knew how to respect and appreciate their men. They didn't. And here's the thing: the women back in the day, they didn't have feminism brainwashing them, and they didn't have welfare breaking up black family homes.
That's why I turned down 3 rates. Because they wasn't like my grandpa. He issued.
And here are the 3 things that are destroying the black community: feminism, welfare, and black women's empowerment. Let me say that again. These are the three things destroying the black community. Welfare. Oh, let me start over again. It's welfare, feminism, black women's empowerment. Those three things are destroying the black community.
Men are wanting the love from the
Title screen, title
generation.
screen,
They're
title screen.
wanting, certain types of men or a certain archetype of a man, but they are not willing to be the women who were the counterpart for that type of man.
Talk about it.
They don't see it necessary. They don't deem it necessary. They feel like, what's the problem? Why can't I just be how I am, come as I please, and you just fix it for me? Why can't you just right all my wrongs and I don't have to do any of the work just because I'm a woman?
At what point are black men going to stop doing social media and all of that and build black homes? If we don't build black homes, we can't depend on white folk to build black homes.
I can't understand why she keeps saying we when she has, 100% talked about the fact that that's not even her preference. I'm so confused at why she keeps saying we.
Thank you, Reverend. I was thinking the same thing. She don't even want black men, but yet she's talking about black men. Make it make sense.
At this point, she goes back to, his specific relationship is talking about the fact that, obviously the backlash that he's getting on social media with his girlfriend Jazzy and she's getting is because they want him to do it right. They want him to do right by her. They want him to, do the right thing and marry her and fix the situation, whatever the case is. But I have to say it again, the worst.
And here's something else that women need to understand. In order to get married, you have to be worthy of a man marrying you. Just saying.
That a man can do is be forced to do something because it's the right thing and not what he truly wants to do. And let's be clear, she was clearly okay. She's pregnant again. On baby number 2. She's clearly been okay with whatever the situation is, and maybe just
Exactly.
now probably wants a different outcome. But if you were okay with this from the beginning, it's very hard to now change your tune and say, I don't want
Exactly.
today.
Just like anger. They don't know you. They can't judge you for anything else. They want you be who you are, being attractive, being successful. They want you to take hold and solidify and build a black home. That's not saying you're not taking care of the kids you have, but clearly you are, and you love your kids. Taking care of your kids and building a home is two different things.
She got back in her shiny and bright bag. Taking care of your kids and building a home is two different things. I'm pretty sure he's well aware of that.
He knows
knows
that.
what the situation is. He's talked about it before, where the situation with the woman that he was with before, he is not that person. Okay, he's not. Not that he can't be, not that he can't choose to tomorrow. But again, it is not his one responsibility to do something. There's so many different examples out there. There's so many different ones. You see, LL Cool J been married forever. Morris Chestnut married forever. Like, I can go down the list of black couples who have been married forever. Why wasn't this pain or angst centered around the conversation even in the likes of a Tia Mowry? Why wasn't she on the? Why wasn't this pain or angst centered around the conversation even in the likes of a Tia Mowry? Why wasn't she on a conversation with Tia Mowry?
Talk about it.
Fight for your marriage and stay in your relationship.
Talk
because
about it.
Watching you and you were setting examples. Why wasn't there that much emphasis on black families and marriage and structure when women are walking away? Why not?
Talk about it.
We get copied from hair to body to everything. Black women are the most unloved individuals in America, but the ones who are built.
Lies. Black women are not the most unloved, are the least protected. I don't know why black women want to get into that victimhood. The most unprotected people in this country, believe it or not, are black men, not black women. And the most unloved people in this country are black men, not black women. So she can miss me with that bullshit.
Most women. You are bad women, But we look into you. We look at the two you.
Now, this is a bold-faced lie. Okay? I'm a
Yeah,
real
facts,
bold-faced
Reva.
lie.
Facts,
Not
Reva.
that black women are not the most women, because I do agree with that. I think, black culture in general, black men, black women, we set the trends. It's just true. Okay? It's very true. And I think trends are sometimes fleeting because people borrow from different communities, people borrow from each other. But, we're at the forefront of, like, what's cool, And that's been going on for a very long time. But also, it's untrue that when she's talking about the fact that, we're in these spaces and we're looking to you. How many times have we seen women get on the internet talking about, you think I'm doing this for a man? I don't care what a man thinks. Men say they don't like eyelashes. I don't care. I'm doing it for myself. Men say they don't like the BBLs. I don't care. I'm doing it for myself. Why would I care what a man thinks? They're not looking for men.
And here's what I gotta say about the BBLs real quick. The reason why women do the BBLs is not for them. It's not for the men. It's to compete with the other women. That's it. That's all.
I think that K. Michelle has missed a very big part of this conversation in which women are now Xing men out of the equation.
They are.
They're purposely doing things to go against the grain. Not wanting to problem solve, not wanting to be on the same page. Not
Talk
wanting
about it.
To go against, to say, we are better than you. And if you want me, bow down to me. That's a big difference in conversation.
But the simple fact that we are looking to you to change the narrative. And when you don't, it becomes, go on that show and tell him, look.
No, they just like to see men humble. They just like to see, men who
This is just sad.
Ways, get told off, like I said, checked and belittled and shown, you see, that woman can go over there and put that man in his place because, he might have all that money and he might have them followers on social media and he might get any woman that he wants. But we gonna have some woman that's gonna, humble him. That's the only reason.
Have you ever taken outside the race?
Yes, that's all I would like to do.
No.
Yes.
Really?
I always get in trouble for this over the past 3 years. I'm always told,
Why are you, as a divester, trying to speak on black men? It's something I never understand.
my sisters to go where they're loved. And I've always told black women to be open to dating, even outside of their race.
You done did all that yapping just to turn around, cry, do the most, talking about black men, black families, black relationships, and you only date outside of your race.
Make it make sense.
It's your way to get that LLC next to your business name. Say hello to Taylor Brands.
What the hell?
What the hell?
Whatever, whoever, whatever. As long as a woman, as it incorporates happily.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. If you can't tell me that you're happily married.
Cameron was saying that he is in support of anybody doing anything that makes him happy. I think most men are. Most men don't necessarily really care. It's more women who get, pent up and emotional about things or relationships that don't really affect them. And
Talk about it.
And, he was saying that even in marriages, people get into relationships just to be in a relationship, but don't tell him that you're, in a relationship or married if they're not happy, if they're not happily married. And I have a different perspective because I think that in any situation in life, no matter what you're going through, you're not always 100% going to be happy all the time. Sometimes there are phases that you are just there out of duty. Sometimes you're there out of commitment, but sometimes the happiness factor doesn't always set in. And so if somebody is in a space that they are not at their happiest moment, and then they talk to you about their marriage, you could get the wrong impression of the entire, years of situation just based off of this season that they're in. So I don't agree with that, and I think that people who aren't married or have never been married have that perspective that you're supposed to be happy all the time, that you're supposed to be, running off into the sunset on a daily basis just because you have this commitment with one another.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Every day I'm sure he was not happy, but he's saying, I love football, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm committed to it. When you go through injuries or hurts or pains or fighting or whatever the situation is, you're not always going to be so exuberant about the situation, but it's your dedication and your commitment that helps you stay the course
through those situations. But they don't tell you they married. I've been married, but you are miserable. It reminds me of Bronx Bistro. It reminds me of the Rashida and Kurt situation. They've been married for forever, and they are miserable. That is horrible. I thought this was interesting.
Why in the hell did she bring up Kurt and Rashida? Y'all heard that? She went out her way to bring up Kurt and Rashida. Kurt and Rashida ain't even thinking about you. The hell?
Because she mentioned a black couple who they've been married for a lot of years. He had infidelity on his side. I think there was even a child conceived out of that situation.
It was.
They are still together. They raised their families together. She raised that child as like a stepchild. Like, they have been able to overcome, stay together, and work through things. And as she said that she wanted a black family, as she said that she wanted the men to come home, as she said that she wanted the kids to be able to come home and see their father and people to stick through things, now she is in the same breath, trying to speak down on a couple who was able to do just that. So that's very interesting to me, because if you have these conversations, you got to be steadfast on your beliefs and on what you believe, not your feelings about people because you don't really like them, not a certain idea. No, if you are talking about the black family and building the black family, in my personal opinion, I believe that if you are talking about those things, you got to be about it.
Facts.
If you're talking about, you want black men to get it together and build black homes, black loving homes with black women, I think you as a black woman are supposed to want to be with a black man then.
Facts.
I think that should be full stop conversation if you feel so
damn
passionate
right
about it, because this is like the pot calling the kettle black, because
very
you're
much
telling Cam Newton that he needs to get married and be an example for the black community, when you as a black woman don't even want to marry a black man because you want to date outside your race. What are you talking about? That makes no sense to me. I like to know what you guys think about this.
We're done. See y'all later.
Right here. Make sure you guys get that